Alright guys, this is Ambors. It's a new video. It's my own Friday today, and today's topic is gonna continue on the one we have started last Friday, and it refers to national selections again. There was a discussion with you that some of you doesn't prefer the national selection because your country failed on bringing a good songs by it into the Eurovision. And I completely understand you about this topic, but let me change your mind. Let me change your mind in this My Own Friday video. So before we get started, let me remind you something. Please subscribe the channel if you haven't done already. It's the minimum you can do. It's something which can help me to grow the channel, to get those information to most, and maybe in a long term, which I prefer, to change the Eurovision for even better, to get it to more people, to get involved more artists, tell what I think is really important, and that it's not just based on my experience being head of delegation for Czech Republic and got this understanding for the entertainment, as I was always a producer of entertainment shows. But it's more like fundamental philosophy I have towards the projects, and that sounds... yeah, but all of my projects were successful, really successful, and that's because I am trying to educate myself, but I am trying to do things better, and I believe that work for public broadcasters, which are those broadcasters who are responsible for Eurovision. It's a bit different, or a lot different on the other hand, than working for the commercial one. And that of course has some pros, has some cons, but for Eurovision, and for Eurovision grow, and for the artistic grow, and for the fan base grow, they are mostly the pros. So let's talk about them, and through this video I will give you some tips, or I will give you some examples why in your country it didn't work in my opinion, and why in Czech Republic it started to work very, very well. Shall we start? Have you subscribed? I'll just give you a few seconds. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, well, I trust you did, so let's get started. So let me comment on one of your many posts I was reading about this theme, that you prefer the internal selection as there is less risks of selecting a wrong song, or just not the song which fits at Eurovision world. And I understand this statement, but let me tell you that the role of public broadcaster should be much wider than this, than thinking about Eurovision as just a song contest. There, in this philosophy, there is no space for higher purpose, I think, of the contest. That's just a song, one song per year, and that's it, I think that's a shame to think like this. And as a public broadcaster, and I think you understand this, you must think in a wider range, in more than just sending a song and then just tick off and that's it, because why should you do it? You're using public money, it's a lot of money, and you don't need to think commercially, so you can allow yourself a risk. We all know that who is risking, there's a bigger chance of growth than when you doesn't do it. And this is a great chance to grow not just the public broadcaster experience and just the TV industry thing, but as well as the music industry, as the artistic motivation here. So if you just bring one artist and you do it under the closed doors or behind the closed doors, you just losing a chance of letting this industries to grow. And you are right that you can find the gem in this whole, music industry mess. You have more control, and maybe you're risking less if you're receiving good songs. But on the other hand, maybe you're risking even more. Maybe you're risking more as you are just, putting a blind eye on the market, which can have much better songs, artists who just doesn't want to work with you then if you're just doing this. So there must be a friendship, established, and you will not do it by selecting the songs internally. Even there is a good reason behind it, and in some countries maybe it's more complicated. But I think you should do this. And let's add to this the another topic which I was reading regarding this in your comments below on the social media, on the Facebook mostly, which was that there are a lot of national selections, so why should fans bother with the other ones? And I'm just tell you this as a producer. In my mind, I care about fans. I think you are super important. But as a public broadcaster, as someone who is building the structure of the shows, their potential, telling my bosses to how's the long-term value of doing a thing like this, I can't care about international funds that much, because I have to focus on the market, on the artists. Because the thing is that if we want to bring the best possible song each year, which is super complicated and it's a tricky thing, you must do those things first for the artist. And then you should do it for the viewers, and you should do it for fans as well. But the goal is to find a best possible song, and at the same time to put spotlight on the most of artists, because you never know if the second to last artist or the last artist of the show or the second to win or the winner will grow into the abroad stars, to international level stars. And that's the goal you should do. And if you're just pointing just one person and you're focusing on fans, you're putting yourself in a trap. You are listening on what happened in the past and what patterns they followed, and you're filling up this gap. But again, you're not going forward. You're not going somewhere. You're not changing the way how to do things. You're not setting trends. And if you want to be successful, and it doesn't really necessarily mean you're gonna win, but to build a trend, it's much more valuable for Eurovision itself, for fans, for all of us, because it's pushed us a bit forward. It does, that's the reason why I don't like, or I don't want to search exactly for Eurovision-like songs, as those songs are following something from the past. But I prefer to look into the future, whatever it means, and no setting such barriers. So I can be inspired by artists, but the artists themselves can do what they really want to do, and not to try to, telling me, yeah, I want to desperately go to Eurovision, so I sent you the Eurovision song, which is the song which definitely fits into the Eurovision. And I think all songs fits into the Eurovision, all of them, with even I don't like some of them, of course, but each song deserves to be there, and it's a visit card of the country sending it. And I prefer to send it on behalf of the national selection, as they put more artists into the spotlight. Another comments of yours were telling, well, we did it in Germany and they cancelled it because viewers didn't care. Viewers were older, so they preferred songs which weren't that good. And then the internal selection make much more sense. And I think Germany is a great example of contradicting my philosophy towards the contest. So let me tell you the Germany example of how they did it and how I would do it, and how we did it here in Czech Republic. You know, there are two different philosophies which are not that much different, and a lot. And there are many reasons why it failed in Germany, but did it really fail? You know, Michal Schulte, well, that worked. So it worked, it can work. But then of course you got Sisters, so it was super average, let's say like this. Even in the national selection there were good songs. And then you got, then there was in the national selection or the public national selection, and it was, you know, it generates, I think, a decent song, but what was a value of it towards the German market? So that was the exact thing. The television put a completely blind eye on the super huge and great market as Germany has, and just leave it completely on foreigners, which makes no sense in my eyes. But you know, it's a regular thing to do. But I think that the thing is that was inconsistency of selecting songs. And if I am talking about diversity, and the diversity helps, if you're just picking songs from a songwriting camp and you're just, you know, telling people what to do kind of, and you're searching the song for exact reason, not a bigger or higher value or the future philosophy or the step philosophy that you're building those fundamentals, but you're doing it this way, as you completely stop to believe in your market, and so you're stopped to work on creating this relationship or change this relationship or help this relationship to change, and to tell the market, hey, you have 200 million viewers and all the German ones. I really believe you can find lots of artists who really wants to do this with their own music. Well, which artist will say no to this? You know, why? It's the best possible marketing you can have. But you know, that's what I will do differently. The problem is that if you just have one streamline into your project, you're risking that the quality of songs you will send will swing, you know, like pendulum, from really good to not that good to good again. But it's like a dice throw, you know. You never know how it's gonna work and whose song will win. So when you're just choosing internally, you're risking less, or you don't, because no one knows if there weren't better songs. But you know, 100-person jury just choose something else, which I think it's a ridiculous thing to do. As a producer or team of producer should decide this, as they exactly know what philosophy they have, why do they have it, and of course they can give back much better feedback to artists, as the artists should talk to them, you know, they will work with them anyway. And this is what I will change too. And that's if you just see what we did in ESCZ, the Czech national selection, over time, of course, it's about long-lasting philosophy, building fundamentals. If you're changing things each year, you will never be successful, or you will be, but it's a random thing that can happen. But if you motivate the market, if you tell everybody can take part in the contest, and it doesn't really matter if they just write songs in their bathroom and then you know, play the demo on piano, recorded on the phone, or they will do it in studio and with high quality. I think you can really easily decide which song is good, which song is not that good, or which song has a potential. And then you can ask a lot of people which songs you value or you think they're best to the casting, to see them live and to let them play live to you, at you, and you can record them and you can see if there's something missing or not, and then you can of course give them a good feedback, and you're building this relationship. That's really interesting. You're not avoiding any part of the market, and you're really honest with each other, and then you can even criticize whoever because you're working on it and you're the part of the process. You are the dominant force because you have the platform, but it's useless if you don't have friends on your side. That's super important to have friends on your side and the people who trust you and who wants to enter your house. And I think that what didn't really happen in Germany, and that's why the results are swinging and not that good, and that can refer to each other big five country if we just don't count Italy. And I think that's the reason that the TV industry and the music market just forgot to work together as it did in the past, and the time has changed, and the song market or the song quality or the song trends has changed, and television is just slow to reflect this as well. It doesn't reflect how the viewership has changed, and it's hard for public broadcasters to attract younger audience. But if you're just selecting songs which are good, only the good one will win. Even it can be the kind of a worst one on the list, it's still really, really good. And that's what makes this tricky. If you're just select for your national selection like 8 songs and 3 of them are really good, 1 is outstanding, and 4 of them it's average or not good, you're putting yourself at risk that the people and the jury will decide for the worst one. But that's the risk you do. Or you don't just do this and you go just with the quality if you can. So in the market like Germany, you definitely can. If you work hard, if you work on this philosophy, and of course it will not change over time, so over the year period. I always believe there are like 3 years period, and always this is the thing about the system you have, and you need to establish such system, and you must say this system will work for next 5 years, and then we revise. As if you're just changing each year the rules, each year those things, and you're not doing it in advance, and you're not doing it with the voice of reason, your work will not be trusted. So I would definitely change it, and definitely Germany market, as I was studying it in last year a lot, has a huge potential. I have a great project for such a country as well, and I definitely know how to change this and to bring such a country, but probably whatever country, to top 15 at least each year. I'm pretty sure that especially with the big countries, that's very possible, and it's just about the philosophical change and the approach change and the openness to refresh, maybe just a refresh, to become a friend, to be always the open arms person, open arms company, the open arms television. And I really believe that this can change, especially as I have worked my ass off in this ESCZ format, and over 3 years when we have started, we have super good result at Eurovision. Well, that's just one point of view. That's just one point of view. But the most important is that we completely changed the approach of the artist towards the contest. So we can now really select the value. We have something to select from, which is the most important thing. When we started, we got just 5 songs to select from, and they were in good quality. And just 5 songs from Czech artists or Czech producers. But now we got over 70 songs to choose from, in just 3 years, in the market who just hated Eurovision, and for a good reason. because they hated TV, because they didn't trust the TV, they didn't trust the TV means it, that they didn't then understand what Eurovision means, what's the potential of Eurovision. And we completely changed this behavior. We completely changed the brand name, we completely changed the approach towards the television and towards our team and towards the project, and that can be applicable anywhere else. You know, watch Lithuania, they're on the great track as well. You know, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time when their national selection will be just full of great songs. This advantage what bigger countries has, of course, helps a lot, because you can choose from much more songs, but you must be the person of trust as well. So that's it. That's the reason why I believe national selections make sense, and they make complete sense. You know, there's actually no argument which can tell me they have no sense. But of course, they put more responsibility. They put much more responsibility on the producers. That they are selecting songs for such a contest, and maybe the reason why you want internal is that you're not trusting your producers that much. I think you should motivate them. You should motivate them to do just better work, or maybe they do the best possible work, and we have to motivate their market, or we have to motivate their bosses. They don't trust the project as well, as selecting internally is much easier, but it's just less fun. And if we want to push this project forward, if we want to put other artists into the spotlight, if we want to celebrate the European or the Eurovision family artists and push them into the next level, to find the better ones, to make them stars, you know, to make this project even more relevant and bigger than ever, we should work on it and make the competition on each layer, and on each layer relevant and trustworthy, and then, you know, we all will profit from it. We all will profit from it. I am pretty sure that's how it works. I am pretty sure that that's the way we should go, and that's the way what we all should motivate others to do. And we're here to help. I'm here to help. So you guys, if you want to, I will tell directly to you as well, and I can change your minds too. I believe it. I was there. I've proven there, and that's the future. Of course, it's my opinion. Well, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So, see you soon. It was longer than ever, probably the best monologue I've ever done. But this is the theme I like. This is the theme or the topic I was working for and working on for long years, to establish something which has a value, which I think I've done with my team pretty well. And this is the topic which is super important, not just for Eurovision, but for most projects, you know, to always try to grow and go forward and learn and teach others and learn from others, which Eurovision really did to me and does to me, as this is the hub where you can, where it's just all the ideas mixed and everybody is talking about them and educate you and you educate others. And this channel is made not just for you fans, but as well for other producers to just see parts of my mind and maybe use them and help their own projects to grow. This is a different perspective. I'm not really the fan of Eurovision, even I'm a huge fan of it, but my perspective is more producer-like, and it won't really change, and that's how I can educate you as well. So I hope you like it, and I hope you subscribed. What? I didn't hear about. Oh yeah, okay. So now you subscribe. I hope you share this. I hope you discuss with me, because your questions really inspiring me. And there are so many topics to talk about. There are so many topics how to create it better. There are probably so many space how to create this channel better as well. I'm working on it. I'm working on it hard. And I'm really curious how it will look in a year, perspective. But I really hope it's gonna look even better in a year, especially when you will give me your feedback on it. And for this, I really need this channel to grow. So I need you to subscribe, I need you to like and share those videos and discuss about them, as the discussion, this friendship, is the same as the public broadcaster and their viewers, and the music market is the same. The friendship is essential. We can all learn from each other, and I am open-minded to it. So this is the end for now. I hate endings. I hate goodbyes, but I need to do it. Goodbye.